Well, good afternoon. I am here with Mr. John Eider Lagarde, one of my co-teachers and one of my mentor here in the school. This is for the subject executive leadership. So I'll be interviewing Mr. Lagarde regarding leadership. How did he become a teacher and how did he become a leader? So yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
You may can you greet our fellow students or my fellow students and my professor? Can you kindly state your name, or if you can give us a little inspiring words?
Okay, thank you so much, sir. My name is Sir John Eider de Lagarde. Everyone calls me Sir Eider. Just a little background. I came from Patanungan, Quezon, and I've been teaching for about 8 years already. I am 28 years old, and I just love teaching. That's it.
Okay. Well, sir, I have a question. Nung bata ka ba, did you dream to be a teacher already, or do you have any other profession that you wanted to have?
Well, I can still recall that my very first dream is actually to be an advisor, not specifically to be a teacher, but to be an advisor.
Advisor of?
As an advisor of children, a school advisor, a teacher,
Okay.
but more on towards being an advisor rather than teaching. I want to advise something, kind words, inspiring words to my students. Because back when I was in grade 3, I think I was inspired by my advisor, in which almost every morning, almost every day, she inspires me to become one, to be a good role model, to be inspiring. That is my main objective back when I was in elementary. But then, as time goes by, when I was in high school, I dreamed to be, to be an engineer, to be an accountant, something that has they said white collar job.
Okay.
But then, I don't know why I become a teacher. Perhaps it is my choices was influenced by my mother. So that I think that is the main reason why I am here in the school teaching.
I see. So that's the reason why you entered the academy.
Yeah.
And then, have you chosen any other courses in college? Have you thought of taking another or different one rather than, shifting from education to a different course, or no? Talaga pinursu mo na diretso na
To be quite
education?
honest, BS Ed is my second choice. My first choice is accountancy. First choice is accountancy. Second choice is engineering. My third choice is Eduk.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I failed. I failed in the first choice, accountancy. For the second choice, actually, I was in front of the dean of college engineering. He told me if I want to be a mechanical engineer, but then I declined it because I'm thinking of my sister, which 1 year after will become college. So
Okay.
it's actually a dilemma for me, or if I'm going to pursue college, engineering, because engineering is 5 years.
Yes.
And it will be a prolonged, hassle or hardship.
Okay.
Hardship in the part of my parents. That's why I focus on my third choice, which is Eduk.
And you are a graduate of SLSU.
Yes, I am a proud graduate of SLSU,
Year?
Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Physical Science, year 2015.
2015. And
Yes.
you are in the DepEd organization for about 8 years. Right?
6 years or
6
more.
years.
More
But
than
you
6 years.
in private,
In private, I've been teaching for 2 years.
For 2
in
years.
St. Anne College, Luzon Incorporated.
I see. And your target is your target is really to enter the public sector.
You know what?
Or public teaching.
When I was in college, it's not final that I want to be a teacher. It's just, this is my course. I have to study very well. I have to graduate.
Mhm.
But the question is, if is really teaching will be my path. But then the first time when I had my practice teaching and experience teaching, the real teaching to the students, that's the time when I realized, I think this will be my life for the next decades to come.
Did it change?
Up to now,
Yes.
never, I think.
Okay.
Because this is what I want to do, this is what I like to do, this is what I love to do, and this is what I know.
I see. I interviewed you because, well, as I said, you were my mentor when I entered this school. And you are also the chief advisor of grade 12 before you. You gave me that responsibility, and then you also have handled some ancillaries like YesO, and then also the research, and then there's a lot of ancillaries aside from that, right?
Yeah.
Being a leader and then being an advisor, you have experienced it a lot. Have you been exhausted doing that job, being a leader?
You know what, for me, every one of us is a leader. Well, in my case, as you have mentioned, I am a leader. I am the coordinator for YesO, for research, even in the grade level,
Mm-hmm.
and some other ancillaries. And being an advisor is also becoming a leader. While you are in front of the class, you're actually the leader inside the classroom. So for me, it is a normal thing to do. Everyone can be a leader. Everyone has a potential to become a leader. It's just a matter of a situation. And I think becoming a leader is also becoming a follower. It might be quite cliche to say that being a leader is becoming a good leader is becoming a good follower.
Follower.
Yes.
So yes, you have to be a follower, and then in the future you will be a leader. And then
Well, actually, to answer your question, I think I did not answer your question. Did I feel
exhausted.
exhausted?
Or have you? Did you felt burned out?
To be quite honest, no. Because as what I have mentioned, I think this is a normal thing. It is a normal thing that, you know, you go in front of the class. It's just a normal day for me. Becoming a leader is a normal thing to do, and everyone has the potential to become a leader. And everyone is actually a leader. For example, inside a family, actually, your parents will be the leader of your family.
Right.
For example, if your parents, your mother or father is not in your house, being
Eldest.
the eldest, you are becoming a leader.
Yes.
Now,
right.
if we're going to travel with your friends, and I think you are going to somewhere that you have the ideas about the particular place, you are shortly instantly become a leader. So every one of us is actually a leader in our own way. So does it feel exhausting? I don't think so, because being a leader is an everyday routine.
Sana all. Well, to tell you honestly, being an advisor I don't have any ancillaries aside from being a grade 12 advisor, since you have given me that responsibility. I felt so exhausted. So, hearing that from you, it's an eye opener, because I should not be. I can feel exhausted, but I should have diverted some energy for me not to feel that exhaustion or burnout. And yes, it is, because you already have served for about 6 years here in the service. Okay, I will learn that definitely. My question for you is that you are, you are forming, you're for students. You know who can be a leader. Can you sense who can be a leader, or do you mold someone to be a leader?
Well, for me, if I'm sensing it, just to be consistent to what I have said earlier, everyone has a potential to be a leader. Actually, I do not sense it, because in my heart, in my mind, every one of my students, whether it's the brightest or not, they have the potential. All of them has the potential to be a leader. All right. So to be quite honest with you, for me, it's putting your own judgment if you are picking someone to be a leader. You have to let your students to decide the entire group which will be a leader. And if the particular student is always being a, they tend to become a leader as always, they should give others the chance to become a leader. So, well, that's in one side. On the other side of the question in which you asked me if I am molding them, definitely yes. Okay, not only those who have the potential in which you are saying. So, I know that everyone has a potential. So, me as an advisor, I have to mold all of them to become a leader. How? So it is quite a challenge for me. First, it starts within me, and then it's just a matter of instruction. It's just a matter of guidance. It's just a matter of telling something. If they done something wrong, you have to correct them.
Okay.
Okay, so you have to have your suggestions, recommendations. You have to ask them questions in order for you to guide them whether they are in the right path toward an excellent leadership. So I think it is not just the way you are sensing the right leaders, because everyone is has the right to become a leader.
Mhm.
Everyone has the potential to become a leader. On the other hand, everyone has the right to be molded to become an excellent leader.
So are you being objective in picking a leader, or I mean a potential person to be a leader, or are you being subjective?
It is always, for me, I am more of an objective person rather than subjective.
Yes.
Alright.
I know.
But it doesn't stop there. Okay? There is a great area between being subjective and objective. It's just you have to balance everything. Okay? You don't have to go in one side. Of course, you have to balance. But if I'm going to choose to pick whether being objective or subjective, I have to proceed with being objective. Okay? So once again, just to be consistent, if you're asking me in choosing a leader, am I using subjective or objective? For me, it doesn't really matter. Okay? Everyone has a potential. Once again, everyone has a potential to become a leader, whether you are subjective or not. You have to mold everyone to become an excellent leader. So, to being a subjective or objective, you have to throw it away, because you have to give the potentials to everyone. You have to give chance to everyone. So, being subjective or objective, you just have to throw it away.
Just select, randomly select, like in practical research.
Not necessarily
random.
random, but we have to give every chance to become a leader.
I see. Another one. I know that you are an aspiring master teacher. So, how do you think that you will be able? How do you think that you can get that position? I mean, what do you do? What is your preparation? Or are you preparing?
I am preparing, but to be honest, in my own thinking, for me, I do not believe in luck. Okay, but except in that particular position, in promotion, for me it's a combination of luck and hardship. Now, if you're asking me if I'm doing something, of course, definitely, I am doing it one step at a time towards my destination, and I'm collecting my papers that can help me to be promoted. So we have to do something towards our goal. Okay, we have one step at a time towards our goal. Don't step back. You can rest, but never step back. Okay, so for me, maybe it's just hanging there. Time will come that I can reach that star.
Well, we have been doing this conversation since the pandemic days. And you mentioned before that you felt you were not, you're not in your full potential. Now, are you saying that you are on your track getting that, getting that position?
I think you misunderstood me. What I have said to you?
Well, you mentioned that you did not step back, but you are, uh, I mean, you are still.
I'm just, perhaps I'm just resting
Okay.
towards my goal,
I
but
see.
I never step back. I still have that particular goal. I never withdraw towards the particular goal. I never bend towards another goal. That's my goal. It's just because of different factors. I just rest. But actually, while I'm resting, I actually doing something towards that goal. For example, you know, mental is very important. I have to prepare mentally, physically, in all aspects. It is
Emotionally.
actually a holistic process. Okay? Not just in terms of preparing such papers. It is a holistic process.
Well, how do you juggle having those ancillaries and having those teaching loads, and then having that dream? How do you juggle those things?
To be quite honest, I am very poor in terms of time management. I don't have an excellent skills in terms of time management. But for me, if you have a specific goal, the fact that you are, you're not holding on it. You are really goal oriented. Whether you are managing your time very well, as long as you have, you're very goal oriented, you are reaching towards a goal. Every day, I tend to procrastinate every day. That's my main problem. I tend to procrastinate every now and then. But then at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the week, or at the end of the month, I had something. I've done something towards a particular goal. So yes, time really matters, but at the end of the day, it's your passion towards that goal. The that's I think the main factor for me is time is one of the greatest factor, but for me the greatest factor rather than time is actually the passion towards that goal. So it yeah it unweights everything.
So we're back. We just have to pause for a couple of minutes. So going back, being a leader. Well, I remember one of my students told me that I am mimicking you, or sabi nga niya, para ka si Sir Ryder, kinokopya ko. How do you feel about that?
I felt nothing. We tend to be inspired by someone. Okay, I don't know if you are being inspired by me, and I think you have the right to do that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you are mimicking me. It's just you are being inspired by the way I manage the class, or I handle the class. But then for me, we have our own individuality. It's just perhaps um, you are just you're just in the process of discovering your own management style, teaching style. So the time will come, since you are just 2 years in service, or more than a year. So time will come that you can reach your own comfort zone in terms of managing the class, in terms of your own teaching style. So just be patient. You're going there.
So are you saying that before you don't have that specific teaching strategy or teaching style, and then over the years you have just developed it, and then we not all learners have the same mentality or same capability. So are you saying that over the years you have you have uh, formulate your own teaching style?
Yes, but actually, this style is just evolved, okay? But the way I articulate things, the way I explain, for me, it's the same the first time with the
Mhm.
first time that I deliver something to my audience. It's just it evolved a little bit. It developed a little bit. It's just a matter of training. It's just a matter of experience. So time will come. It's just it's an everyday process.
So do you change your teaching strategy or styles every day, or did you change it weekly or monthly, or it depends on your audience?
No, if we're talking about teaching style,
Yes.
based from the principle of teaching, there is no single teaching style which is appropriate to all, for all
Yes.
learners and for all subject matter. Okay, we as a teacher, we are a chameleon. We are very adaptive to everything. We are very dynamic. So we have to change our teaching style because learners are continuously evolving. They are continuously developing as time goes by because of the development in terms of technology. So we have to jive with them. We have to move, we have to develop as they develop. We have to change as they are changing. So for me, every day, perhaps it's a struggle, but then I have to, but then I have to find a concrete way, the most appropriate teaching style, which they can enjoy, they can learn the best way.
Yes. I mean, for me, it is really a struggle every day thinking of how we can give that quality education to students, because I mean the time the span or the uh, learning span of learners or students is very short.
The attention span,
Yes,
really.
the attention span, and I mean times goes by. It is. I mean it's short. It's becoming shorter and shorter.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I mean it is a struggle. But yes, one more question. Being a leader, do you think that you have to be flexible? Do you think that you need to listen to your subordinates? Their thoughts about something. Do you think that those things matters? Being a leader.
Definitely yes. Okay, going back to your first question because you have multiple questions.
Sorry.
Your first question is you're asking me whether I have to be if I have to be flexible. Yes, definitely. You have to be flexible. You have to be versatile, and yet you have to be decisive on your decisions. Now, in crafting a decision, you have to look at different angles. Okay, you have to look in your own perspective. You have to look at the side on the perspective of your subordinates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have to look at every facet of it in crafting a decision in order to see whether your vision is actually has a blind side. Okay, so you have to look at the other angle. Perhaps the other angle is better than your angle. You have to take suggestions. You have to listen to their suggestion of your subordinates. You have to listen with their complaints, for example, so that in crafting a solution, a decision, it is the best if it is a collaboration of everyone. There is a consensus of everyone, so that your subordinates will be satisfied with your decision. So there is what we call flexibility in the decision making.
But have you experienced? I mean, just following the decision that you have, or just not listening to the people or your subordinates. I mean, thoughts about something. Have you experienced that specifically? Just listening to yourself. You don't need. I mean, you don't listen to their opinions. Just I mean, this is my decision. This is the final decision.
Well, for me, being a leader is not being a dictator.
Okay.
Okay? At the end of the day, you are going to decide. You are the one. You have the say of everything if you are the leader. But then at the end of the day, your decision should not be based on your own, in your own, in your own self.
Okay.
You don't have to be selfish
Okay.
with your decision. You have to listen to everyone. that is the right way of becoming a leader. That is the right way of crafting a right decision. A right decision is not your own decision, but the consensus of everyone. For me, that is how a real and a great leader decides.
Okay, that's a nice. I mean, nice thing to think about. Just to have this conclusion. What do you think is the most what should be the characteristic of a good leader for you? Well, just to sum it up, I mean, just to end this conversation, what do you think will be the good, or if you can give us a couple of characteristics of a good leader, what should be those characteristics?
Once again, just to be consistent, everyone has to be a leader. Every one of us has our mind to think, has our heart to feel. So therefore, everyone has the ability to become a leader. Well, it may be cliche as it sounds, but being a leader is being a good follower. So leadership starts within ourselves. Okay.
Yes.
You can be a leader in your own way. You can following the rules is actually being a follower, and you know what, being a good follower is molding you to become a good leader. So once again, if you are there, if you're already a leader, you have to decide not only in your own perspective, in your own angle, but it is actually a collaboration of all. It is actually the consensus of everyone. So on that note, I can say that being a leader it's a normal thing. It is for everyone, and you just have to be passionate and mindful about it. That's for me is becoming a leader.
Well, thank you, sir. I know that this is a short notice for you for this interview, and I would like to thank you for giving me the chance to interview you, since you have been my colleague for about turning 3 years next year, and I would like to thank you for everything that you have done, especially for Ma'am Mel over there. I mean, you have supported me from the day that I stepped in here. You have supported me through my journey as a teacher. Well, thank you for that, and I hope that I was able to to give justice to this interview, and thank you.
You know what, sir? I would like to say thank you also, and don't mention it. I think you have a potential to become a leader. You are in your right track. You are in the right way. And for me, as your senior, it is my responsibility to lead you towards your own goal, your own direction, your own way to becoming a great leader, and perhaps to becoming a great teacher. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, sir.
I had a good time.
Thank you again, sir. I really have a good time talking to you. Kahit sa Tagalog, kahit sa inuman. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you again. And so this ends my interview to my colleague, my former grade 12 chief advisor, and hopefully we're rooting for you you can get that master teacher position, and let's hope for the best. Well, thank you. Signing off. Thank you, sir.